Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Battle to Bloom, where we are here to bloom into the best versions of ourselves. My name is Keela, and today we're going to talk about Black Lives Matter, Black women, colorism, just how it all relates to mental health. So I just wanted to say before we start this video that as a disclaimer, when I'm speaking about a lot of these issues, I'm going to be saying Black men, Black women, you know, all of that, but just know that it's some Black men, some Black women. It's not all Black men, all Black women. I'm not speaking about all people as a whole. I'm speaking about only some groups that I'm seeing and noticing relating to these issues. So just a disclaimer in case y'all want to pop up and start roasting people or whatever. First off, I want to say I feel like a lot of people are starting to wake up about like what's going on in American society. You know, Black Lives Matter movement is stronger than ever, and then you also have the KKK trying to infiltrate the Black Lives Matter movement, all of these anarchists, all these people who are trying to loot the stores and all types of stuff. But it's actually really getting crazy out here. So I don't really have that many notes here because I just wanted to speak about this, just have a conversation with you guys type of thing. I don't want to start off on a bad foot, but Black Lives Matter movement, I don't know, I'm just not feeling it right now. It's just mainly just how Black women are always portrayed as like being this strong Black woman. It's just the strong Black woman narrative. And, you know, we're always at the forefront of these protests. You know, we're organizing these protests. We were the ones that created the hashtag Black Lives Matter, hashtag say her name, all that stuff like that. And it somehow always kind of hits us back in the face. Like, we are still kind of in this society that we're still being bashed by our own men, and we are still being disrespected by, you know, other people of other ethnicities and whatnot. Now, this is not saying that all of our men are disrespecting us or bashing us. It's not saying that everybody of a different race or ethnicity is disrespecting us or any of that sort. This is just some. We have to fit into this role of being the strong Black woman. We have to go out there and protest and fight for our rights and fight for the rights of Black men and all of that stuff. But that's kind of like what hurts the most about it. Just seeing, you know, the dynamics of everything, like how we're still at the forefront, yet we are always put last. And I mean, if you disagree, then maybe, you know, just put it in the comments and we'll hash that out or whatever. This is just my opinion of what I'm seeing in this society. You know, and this is not me being bitter or angry, because that whole bitter and angriness, I don't know why people like to use those two words to describe Black women, but I'm not bitter or angry about anything. I'm just stating my opinion. I feel like this whole movement has, in a way, kind of hurt our mental health. We have to be strong Black women for our community, and we have to uplift our community, and we have the community all on our backs. You know, we're carrying our community around, yet there's still people in the community who are not unified. So I wanted to just read a small snippet that I got from this Time article that I read just recently. The author is Brittany Cooper, if you wanted to look up that author or try to find the article, because I don't believe I have the topic, like the title of it. But basically she's saying, in a world where the pains and traumas that Black women and girls experience as a consequence of both racism and sexism remains structurally invisible and impermeable to broad empathy. So if you guys didn't understand what she was saying, basically she was saying that as Black women, we are both affected by racism and sexism. Because we are both affected by racism and sexism, we are also erased from, you know, any narrative that deals with racism and sexism. So, meaning like Breonna Taylor, her case would have been swept under the rug if Black women didn't speak up about her and we didn't raise our voices, because, you know, with the Black Lives Matter movement, it's usually Black men that are seen as kind of the faces of the Black Lives Matter movement. And that's okay, because, you know, there are Black men out there who are getting brutalized, who are getting killed by police, maybe possibly more than Black women. But at the same time, if you want to say Black Lives Matter, why are you only putting Black men to the forefront of Black Lives Matter? Why aren't you bringing in Black women? Why aren't you bringing in different people of the Black community as well who are being brutalized and killed by police? So the last part of her little snippet here: remains structurally invisible and impermeable to broad empathy, meaning that Black women are kind of like, our feelings are not seen as valid. Like, if we do have feelings, if we do have opinions, it's seen as, oh, she's being bitter, she's being angry. It's never something that people empathize with. It's usually the complete opposite. People get mad when you say something, and people don't have the same empathy when it comes to Black women. Like, there was a recent video of this girl, this woman who got thrown in the trash can. No. This is just something that I'm observing myself. Like, I'm just telling y'all what I'm observing. Maybe y'all are observing something different, but here where I'm at, a mess, especially with my next topic, which is going to be colorism.
Excuse me, I'm fucking out of here right now.
I feel like colorism is a tough topic to speak about within the Black community, just because it is really deep rooted in our community. It's almost like a spirit, it's almost like a curse, just because of what we went through back in the slave days, and how it is still affecting us from the slave days all the way back to present day. So a brief history lesson: if you didn't know, in slavery they had the darker skinned Black people in the fields picking cotton or tobacco or whatnot, and in the house they had light skinned slaves, mulattoes as well, that they called, which are mixed people. They had them in the house. They were the house slaves working for the white man. Just how colonialism has separated Black people by the color of their skin really showed just how controlling and how manipulative they were back in those days, and how they knew that that would affect us mentally, and how it still affects us mentally. You know, they knew that this was gonna be something that would go from generation to generation, that division within our community, because they know that if we were actually united as one, then, you know, we would get a lot more things done. There would be a lot more progression in our society for Black people. And also, I wanted to talk about how it's mainly a man's instinct to look at the appearance of a woman and finding a mate. It's a woman's instinct to look at not only the appearance of a mate, but also the, you know, different dynamics of caring, being thoughtful, will he care for us, all of that. I'm mainly looking at the mind, like, how is his mind? Is he crazy? Is he a fool? So this is kind of one of the reasons why I feel like Black men in particular are so vulnerable to the ideals and the ideology of colorism. Just because they are men, they look at the appearance as the first thing that they see when they, you know, are finding a mate, as I said. So since they're men, they're going to look at, from just the connection of the structural racism and the colorism that they've endured since slavery until now, you see this kind of dynamic where Black men, they not only prefer lighter skinned women, but they kind of deny and they put black women of a darker shade into a completely different category other than them being black women. We have these instances where black women of darker skin are seen not as people, they're seen as animals, they're seen as gorillas, monkeys, cockroaches is a big one. And you kind of see that dynamic, that what colonists had instilled in us back in those days is still very widely in our consciousness in the black community. And it takes a lot out of someone to get educated and to know, like, hey, you know, this is not right. This girl who I met in high school, she was so gorgeous, but she would tell me, like, back in the day, a lot of people picked on her because of how dark her skin was. Now, her skin was flawless. She had no pimples, none of that acne, nothing. Her skin was smooth as a butter and just dark, chocolatey, beautiful. But people were picking on her skin color because she was dark, and they called her ugly for it. And I'm like, this girl, I just feel like people just look skin deep. That's deep right there. People look skin deep. They don't look at the rest of your features. They don't look how gorgeous you are. They just look at your skin color and they're like, oh, she's ugly. Like, to me, it doesn't make sense. I don't see how people can see a dark-skinned person as an ugly person just because of the tone of their skin. Like, it's just so, it's stupid. Like, when you really think about it, it's dumb.
Stupid.
Like, black people are so affected by the ideologies of colonialism and just, you know, the fact that lighter skin is perceived as something that's better, that's seen as something that's good, as opposed to darker skin. It just kind of shows you, like, you don't realize, people don't realize that it's really affecting them. Like, people don't realize that this preference is actually something that's in your conscience. Like, this is an unconscious thing that you have. Like, honestly, they got us good to the point where black people don't know that they are just running along with the ideologies of these colonists. Like, what? Yeah, lighter skin is better. Yeah, darker skin, oh, that's so trash, that's ugly, whatever. It's like, do y'all realize that this is not how we're supposed to be thinking? Like, this is something that was instilled in us from generations upon generations ago. Do you guys realize that? Y'all don't know? Now, we as black women, we see that how it's really affected black men, you know, how they do seek out women of lighter skin for the most part, where they do seek out women of even other races as well for the most part. Well, not for the most part, sometimes, I guess. I'll say it like that, sometimes. We see it as, okay, so white men don't like us. Asian men don't like us. All of these other races of men, ethnicities of men don't like us because of our skin color. And then you have black men not liking us because of our skin color. And then that's how it affects us, where women, we feel like we have to bleach our skin. Like, there's a lot of people, like in Africa, there's people in India and these Caribbean countries like Jamaica, Trinidad, where they have like practices of skin bleaching for women because it's seen as more desirable to men that we need to be of a lighter skin color in order to be accepted in the society. And it's just kind of crazy to me that we have to change the skin color that we were born with in order to be accepted into our society. Like, these are genes, this is our genome, this is like something that's structured within our very cells, and you're telling us that we have to change that, like that's not good enough, that we're not human because of that. What? Make it make sense.
It was all a lie.
society is constantly telling you that darker skin is not it for us. Like, darker skin is just not it for the world. Like, you see this in commercials, you see this music videos, you see this in pop culture. Like, it's just small things that can affect you, and people don't realize that. But just now talking about my own experiences with colorism, and just seeing other people deal with it, I have dealt with colorism, but not to the extent that women of darker shades than me have dealt with. Just because I'm kind of in the middle, having to deal with the fact that people don't like you because of your skin color. You know, you're a woman and white men don't like you, Asian men don't like you, black men, your own men don't like you. I feel like that's a big problem. You know, there are white men out there that love dark skin. There are Asian men out there that love black women. There are black men out there that love black women as well. So no shade to any of them, because they're doing great in the society. But as opposed to the other people who look at your skin color and automatically just reject you because of that, it's just like, to me, it's just really shallow, and it just shows that you're not educated enough to really, you know, get to know a person. Because a person of darker skin tone can be, you know, your soulmate, but you sitting there just like acting up like, oh, I want lighter skin, or, you know, I want to have light skin babies. Light skin babies, oh my gosh, please stop, guys. I hate it. Just stop. Now, I have a boyfriend who is of a lighter skin tone than me. He has freckles, he's part Irish, he has red facial hair. I don't like him because he's light skinned and all that. I like him because I like him. Nothing to do with his color, even though, you know, he's cute or whatever. So first of all, he was not educated at all when it came to colorism and just different dynamics within the black community. And, you know, when we first started dating, he said to me, I don't know if it was in person or through a text message, he was like, I was trying to talk to him about some black issues or whatnot, and he was like,
I'm not black, I'm light skinned.
what? Crazy. I know. He, to this day, I dog him about it, but he claims that he was just joking about it. I was like, oh my gosh, like, he knows nothing at all.
Because I'm tired of getting my heart broken.
I just wanted to say, like, if you have a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend who is of a lighter complexion than you, or who is a different race than you, and you recognize and you see that they have a complex about their lighter skin or the fact that they are a different race, then you need to call them out on it. You need to educate them. It is your duty to educate them about blackness and the different dynamics of colorism having to do with relationships. You can't just sit here and just be like, oh, okay, you know, my white boyfriend just called me the N-word. I don't care. Like Doja Cat the clown.
I'm a cow.
You have to make people accountable for it, and especially the people who you trying to procreate with, or who you're trying to marry, or, you know, it's your boyfriend or girlfriend. You can't be sitting here having some, you know, significant other that is just like not educated and doesn't know anything about their race, and, you know, feel some type of way about darker skinned black women and just dark skin in general. But he's a lot more educated today than he was back when we first started dating. I encouraged him to read articles, watch videos about black issues, about colorism, so that he could just change his mindset about, you know, the fact that he thought he wasn't black, he was light-skinned or whatnot, or that he just had some complex about him being a light-skinned black man. And I feel like it's really important that you educate somebody about that, because these people running around ignorant and you just sitting here taking it. Like, educate them. What you doing with them? Like, if you're not trying to educate them, I don't know, if you're not trying to make them better as a person, like, what are you there for? We already have the society that thinks that, you know, lighter skin is something that is inherently better, and is inherently more human than people of darker skin. It's not only do we experience racism and sexism, we also experience colorism in our own community. So that's 3 things that we have to deal with. Those are 3 layers of oppression. Those are just things that can bring down our mental health and can just suck our energy out, just trying to go through society on a day-to-day basis. And to me, it's exhausting. It's exhausting to deal with all of that. You know, as a black woman, you know, we are built to be seen as this strong black woman. This strong black woman narrative is so toxic in the fact that we have feelings, we have emotions. We are not all angry, we're not all bitter all the time. It's just the fact that we're tired. It's time to focus on ourselves. It's really time to uplift each other as black women. I'm going on a rant about this, but I'm gonna go ahead and speak more about colorism and just how particularly dark skin is seen as something that is not even human. So when it comes to black women in particular of a darker skin tone, over a darker skin shade, they are kind of meshed into this box of they're not really human, as well as something that is also animalistic. So in particular, when it comes to black women, we are called roaches, we are called gorillas, monkeys. I know that there was a thing with, I think it was either Ari Lennox or someone in Ari Lennox, and basically he called her like a bulldog or some type of dog. And I'll put like a snippet of what she said as a rebuttal to what he was saying.
Why are you so comfortable tearing down black women and no other race? Look around. Look around. When are Hispanic women ever compared to dogs? When do they do that? When do they do that to white women? When are white men doing that to white women? When are Hispanic men doing that to Hispanic women? They're not doing it. They're not. Like, and how come as a black woman, me sticking up for it, I'm a Zelia? Like, bruh.
People be calling us animals and we just have an opinion, you know, like people really began angry at our opinions and what we say. And it kind of goes to show you how colonialism really affected how we are today, especially when it comes to, you know, black men and them actually calling black women monkeys and frogs like Chris Brown and all types of stuff that is just very offensive. It's almost like racism. It's never going to be racism against, you know, black men cannot be racist against black women just because that's not how it is. But it's just like almost another level over colorism. It has to have like another name or something. It's like diabolical misogyny or something, because it's just, how can you act just like these white men that are racist towards you, towards your own women? It's mind-boggling. Black men can call black women, you know, animals, and you got white people calling y'all animals too. It's just like, make it make sense. I feel like I have to make like a part 2 to this because this has gone long enough. and I'll definitely have like more notes and definitely more facts and all of that information for you guys. I just wanted to speak my opinion this time and just share kind of my experiences and my thoughts about colorism and Black Lives Matter and just how it relates to Black women. I'll also talk more about mental health, because I didn't really talk about that in this video that much. When it comes to all of those things, I've literally been thinking about this, making this video for a long time, even before I thought about making videos. Like, I wanted to find a platform that I can speak about these issues, because it's just something that I feel like needs to be changed. But I definitely like how right now society seems to be waking up. We're not really getting better, but we're at least waking up to what's going on within, you know, society as a whole. Just need to come together. We all need to unify as people. It's great seeing people of other races come and support us as well. Just seeing that gives me hope that there's a better future out there. Put some comments down below. I would love to read all of your comments and see what you guys think about these topics. If you like my video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. And again, I'll be making a second video to this, so stay tuned to that. But for now, bye.